Getting outside your comfort zone is a good way to grow and learn new things. So for this week's song, I decided to get way outside my comfort zone and make a rap song. To be fair, I used to listen to rap as a kid, but I'm old and I was a kid a long time ago. I've since moved on to more extreme forms of music, but I like rap as an art form. I like that it makes music from language and how it's able to influence the everyday language of regular people. What I'm not really a fan of is that the music just isn't really heavy enough for me. Like when you get a taste for spicy food and suddenly you need that spice. So for my version of rapping, I'm really only borrowing rhythm and cadence. My delivery is a bit more aggressive than what most real rappers go for. One valuable lesson I learned from this experiment was that stepping outside of your comfort zone is probably best to do a little bit at a time and not all at once. Another lesson was that rap is harder than it looks. I was so far out of my element on this that I was constantly second-guessing everything, and I couldn't really get into a flow state to build effective creative momentum. I struggled quite a bit with lyrics on this, and I think part of the reason for that is that my lyrics usually aren't written in everyday language, and I think that's a big part of what makes rap work. I think it's supposed to be more direct and conversational, and I typically write in images and metaphor, like I'm using words and phrases like colors to create imagery, not very direct at all. Having only a week to take this from start to finish didn't really leave me a lot of time for experimentation, so the lyrics stayed in my usual cryptic sort of language. I'd need much more than a week to completely revamp my writing formula. As important as lyrics can be, I've learned that what you say isn't as important as how you say it. Lyrics without sound is just poetry. The delivery is what makes it music. I also struggled quite a bit with the beat. On a surface level, making a beat with samples and loops should be easier than writing a piece of music from scratch that has to be performed on real instruments. But really, it's just a different type of discipline with its own challenges. Rather than choosing notes and then figuring out how to maximize a performance, programming music and using loops and samples requires efficient curating skills. There's a lot of searching and rummaging through sounds and finding things that fit together. This isn't a skill that I've spent a lot of time developing. I ended up scrapping most of the instrumentation that I came up with because it just didn't really seem to fit the main theme all that well. This helped me understand why most rap songs seem to stick to a main beat for an entire song. It makes sense to me now. The easy part was mixing, but compared to mixing death metal, pretty much everything else is easy to mix. If you make music, I highly recommend stepping into unfamiliar territory every now and then. The lessons that you learn can't really be learned by reading or watching videos about it. Sometimes you have to actually do the thing to learn the valuable stuff. Then those lessons can be used to expand your main art form. If you'd like to hear how this song turned out, check this video's description for the link or find it on fedtothevoid.com, where I share more of the process. For next week's song, I think I'll be returning to more familiar territory, but with new knowledge gained from my recent expedition.